Hey everyone, today I'll be showing you how to download, install, and configure WAMP to give yourself a local testing server for PHP and MySQL. So let's get started. The first thing you're going to do is go over to one of your web browsers, and we're just going to type in WAMP into the search queue. Now this is WAMP. So we're going to open this up, and then in order to get started, we're just going to click Start Using WAMP Server. Pretty straightforward. So then you'll select whichever one you want. I'm just going to select this top one here, 64-bit. It's going to bring up a warning. Basically just click this. You can download it directly here. It's going to take you over to SourceForge. If you're using something like Firefox and you have McAfee or something installed, sometimes SourceForge will have a fit because SourceForge is just a place that people can upload files, and so you never really know if those files are secure, but in this case we know that it's from a reputable location, so we're going to be okay here. So I'm just going to do show in folder, and here's the file that we just downloaded. So now what we need to do is basically just run this. So I'm just going to double click run it. Sometimes you need administrative access, and I'm just going to click next. I do accept, next. And then you want to just leave this where it's at, C, and then WAMP right off of C, because you want it to be in the most accessible place possible, because you're probably in your web development going to be flying in and out of folders, and to have it in that root folder is really nice. So I'm just going to click next. We'll do create a quick launch icon, which I think is the thing down in your bar at the bottom, and then you can do a desktop icon as well. So I'm going to click install, and it's going to chew through and install all of those files. So it shouldn't take too long. So there we go, it has finished installing. It wants us to select our default browser. Now you can go through your program files and hunt for something, but I just have all my browsers on my desktop, so I'm just going to link to, say, the shortcut of Firefox. Alright, now it brings up some issues for SMTP and email, which is basically for doing mailing from your local server. If it says, if you're not sure, just leave the default values. I just left the default values, so we're just going to click finish. Okay, and it'll say launch WAMP server now. Alright, so it'll say yes, we're running it. You should see an icon down in the bottom right corner of your screen where all of your little icons are. I can exit out of this, and now we can take and turn this back on. So whenever you want to run WAMP, this is the installer, we don't need that anymore. This is what it actually installed right here. Looks like this icon, sometimes has a little shield on it if you need. So we'll double click on that. It'll bring this up needing access. You hit yes, and now you're running and you're ready to go for whatever local development you want to do. So now if we just type localhost, you can see that if this screen comes up, then you've done everything correctly. So you should see basically, this is kind of your dashboard for WAMP. So if we click PHP MyAdmin, you can see you can do all of your MySQL stuff in here. I do have tutorials on how to create databases and tables within those, and also some actual PHP and MySQL tutorials for, I don't know, I think I have a view counter one and some other stuff. So those things, because they're using PHP MyAdmin, aren't specific to XAMPP, so you should be able to follow along with those in setting up that stuff as well. So if you still want to make sure that this is working correctly, I'm going to show you how to do your files so that you know where to put your files so that you can actually test them on this. What we're going to do is pull up our file directory here, just a new Explorer window, and we're going to click on C. Now under C you'll see you have a new folder called WAMP, which is where it said that it was going to put this. So if we open that up, you can see we have a www folder. So if we open that up, this is basically like the htdocs folder that a lot of other local servers use. Whatever's in here we're going to be able to access. So we're going to open up Dreamweaver, and we're just going to create a new test file. Okay, so I'm going to put this back, we can minimize that. Create a new PHP file. We're just going to make just the most basic PHP file here. So our opening and closing PHP tags, and then we're just going to say echo, 2 quotes and a semicolon, and then inside of there I'm just going to put PHP is running. And then we can put an exclamation point because we are really excited that we have this going. So I'm just going to hit save. I'm just going to call this test.php. Okay. So now that we have that done, we can close Dreamweaver, go back to our Firefox, or whatever web browser you want to use. I'm going to hit the /, and then what we can do is take and say test .php. Now this should bring up PHP is running. So that's basically where you can put your files in order to run them. Now you'll see if you go back to your localhost kind of dashboard that you have this thing called projects. Now this is probably one of my more favorite features of WAMP. You can actually take and split all of your files into different projects, and it'll keep managing those.